Political activist Rami Shat denounced Egypt as a banana republic affair. The Egyptian-Palestinian activist arrived in France on the 8th of January, after more than 900 days in prison.
Then they took me to a jail where I spent 2.5 years in a 23 square meter room with 18 to 32 people at times, i.e. we had this much space for sleeping. In my case, I usually prefer to wait a roll to sleep because there was no way that all of us can sleep and stay in that same room.
The political activist described how many of his fellow inmates were ordinary citizens without any political background who were arrested in what he described as a completely arbitrary manner.
That does not only relate to politics. People who oppose policies regarding social matters or economic matters are enough to be taken to terrorist jails. Yes, Egypt is becoming a huge big jail, and I don't understand how they think they can continue running the country in that sense, and how can they build quote-unquote stability.
Rami Shat was a figure in the 2011 revolution. According to the activist's family, he was forced to give up his Egyptian nationality in order to secure his release.
Thousands have abandoned their homes, their crops, and their belongings, driven out by deadly jihadist attacks. More than 6,000 people have left southern Burkina Faso in recent months, walking to Ivory Coast to find refuge and restart again from nothing. At the edge of the village of Tubo, near the border, a dozen of makeshift tents and corrugated iron roofs are scattered in the forests. This is where they live now. What made us come here is the people who came to our area. We don't know them. They always move around. We're afraid. That's why we came the first time. There are people who have returned to our village. We followed them. We resumed our activities. But in the last few days, they started to kill people. We got scared and ran away to come here. The more the months pass, the more difficult it becomes to feed. Donations of food and soap from the government and the UN High Commissioner for Refugees are no longer sufficient as new arrivals increase almost every week. We found the house, but the problem is the food. The money we came here with has run out. There, I have nothing. But if I find a house for us, we will stay here because until the war is over, we can't go back. When refugees came to Tubo, we, the sub-prefecture of Tubo, put in place a system to be able to receive them, identify them in the presence of their guardians, who confirm that they are indeed where they belong, and we register them. We identify them through a small card that we deliver to them. Some 1.5 million people are internally displaced in a country of 21 million, according to estimates by the National Disaster Management Agency.
The African continent is on course to reach the vaccination target of at least 70% of its population by the end of 2022, according to the head of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC. Current figures suggest that 11% of the continent's 1.3 billion people are fully vaccinated. The public health official said he was encouraged by a surge in vaccinations in countries such as Nigeria, where vaccine hesitancy appears to be waning. Director John Kengasong, the continent's vaccination target is achievable if current trends are maintained and vaccination is ramped up across countries. The Africa CDC director said that 580 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been received in Africa so far, and of these, 64% have already been administered. The director added that studies conducted in several countries suggest that about 80% of the population is ready to receive the vaccine.
Mali's junta lashed out against French Defense Minister Florent Parly and Denmark amid tension with the two European nations. On Tuesday, Pali accused Mali's junta of multiplying provocations after it asked Danish special forces operating in the country to withdraw. She said, "We have engaged in a thoroughly consultation with our partners, particularly those in Takuba, and I would like to affirm our solidarity with our Danish partners, whose deployment has a legal basis, contrary to what the Malian junta is claiming today. And in Africa, just as in Europe and Russia, through its actions and speeches, it favors strategy of intimidation. It chooses mass confrontation, which is a destabilizing factor. We made this clear to our Russian counterparts back in November." On the other hand, the Malian junta responded by saying, "We were surprised recently to hear a false accusation from the Minister of the Armed Forces, Ms. Florence Parly, of the French military, accusing the Malian authorities of provocation." Mali today insists on respect for its sovereignty, and we invite Ms. Parly to show more restraint and also to respect the elementary principle of non-interference in the internal affairs of a state, which is an elementary principle of international relations. We also invite her to give some advice, to make her own the sentence by Alfred de Vigny on the greatness of silence. The junta spokesman also repeated the demand that Denmark withdraw its troops, which have arrived in Mali to join the French-led Takuba force of European Special Forces.
The main opposition leader in Zimbabwe, Nelson Chamisa, feels optimistic about winning next year's presidential elections. Chamisa narrowly lost the general elections in 2018 to Emerson Mnangagwa in what he denounced as a stolen vote.
They know that we constitute an alternative. They know that we defeated them in 2018, and we are about to repeat that. Not just in the by-election, but also in the 2023 election, which is the big gap. So they've tried to decimate us, to destroy us, to divide us, to defocus us, but they failed. We need to fix Zimbabwe in order to restore the dignity of the citizen, and that is what we are doing. So of course, we've not rebranded. It's a new party, it's a fresh start, it's a new beginning, it's a new dawn. You know, it's sunrise in Zimbabwe.
In an interview with AFP, Nelson Chamisa added that the change in leadership in Zambia had given him a lot of hope for Zimbabwe, that has been ruled by the same party, ZANU-PF, for nearly 42 years.
We're so excited that Zambia has given a huge, momentous wave, which is going to also spill over across Zambezi River. And of course, we hope that Zimbabwe is going to be an exciting opportunity going forward.
This week, the opposition leader announced a new name for his party that changed from Movement for Democratic Change to Citizens Coalition for Change.